the CEO Masterclass, everyone. I am your guide, Rachel L. Gary. And who do I talk to in the CEO Masterclass? CEOs. And who are those CEOs, everybody? Those people who are clear in their actions, empowered by their choices, and owning their directions as the CEOs of your life. And today we're going to talk about going from idle to iconic. And today we're going to talk about a journey we all long for, yet so few of us embark on. The transformation from the ordinary, ideal life to one that is truly iconic and extraordinary. This is a journey that takes you from just existing to living the life that you've dreamed about. It's not an easy path, guys. So I'm not going to talk about something that's going to be easy, because if it was easy, everybody be doing it. So, but I promise you one thing, it's going to be worth every step. And the best part is it all starts with a decision. What decision? Your decision to transform. So I asked you guys today to bring to the live event your icon. So if you guys can drop it in the chats in all three places, drop it in the chat, an icon that you guys have. My icon is Oprah. And we're going to talk a little bit about these icons. So I'm going to give you guys a couple of seconds, drop them in the chat. Who is somebody who you think is iconic? Who do you believe is that person who's iconic, who has been doing very well? Who is someone that you aspire to? All right, let's get those in the chat. All right, so I got Stephen Curry, I got Oprah, and Oprah's for me. So once you pick your icon, give me one thing, one word that makes that person memorable to you. One word, okay? So my word for Oprah is that she persevered. That's my word for Oprah. All right. So I got two icons. I got Oprah, Stephen Curry, and what makes Oprah iconic to me is that she perseveres. And what makes Stephen Curry iconic is that he's flawless. Now, let's dive into what activities do you think that Oprah and Stephen Curry do on an everyday basis to remain iconic? So we're talking about an iconic person, that one word that makes him iconic to you, and now we're on what activities do you think that Oprah and Stephen Curry do on an everyday basis to keep themselves, to persevere, and to be flawless? All right, so we got icons, we got Oprah and Stephen Curry. And my word for Oprah is that she perseveres, and the gentleman's for Stephen Curry was that he's flawless. So what were activities that I think Oprah will be doing on an everyday basis? And I said self-care. And the other gentleman who said for Stephen Curry, he said practice. So I totally agree with what we're saying there. That's what they will be doing to remain iconic, because they got to practice. They got to practice, and they got to stay focused on being better. So we're going to acknowledge that for you to be iconic, there's some traits you need, and there's some things that you need to do. So that means we're going to acknowledge, to be ideal, when you're being idle, that we live a life of an average life, the 9-to-5 grind. So I know you guys agree with me, because that's what kind of lives we lead. We lead the routine, comfort zone that keeps us in the same place year after year. It's a life where dreams remain just that, dream. For Oprah and Stephen Curry, are they living their dream? Now, I've seen interviews with both of them, and I know you guys have as well. They talk about how they got to where they were. Where they are today. And if we're talking about where they are today, so here's the first truth. An average life is the result of an idle life. It's just us living idle, doing enough to say we've done something. But it's what happens when we let the life happen to us, as opposed to us steering the wheel and moving forward. So we're going to go back to the example of Oprah and Stephen Curry. Now, we said there are some things that they need to do. So they need to, we know Oprah, so I'm saying Oprah has self-care, and we saying that Stephen Curry practices. So with that being said, we've been conditioned to believe that average is acceptable. So if we've been conditioned to believe that average is okay, what is the one thing that Stephen Curry and Oprah do to not live ordinary? How did they become iconic to us? They get the same 24 hours in a day that we get. Some, we will say, they have natural talent. But all of us have a natural talent. So what's the difference between us and Stephen Curry and Oprah? So we're going to go from this way. Your dreams and ambitions and your vision for your life, that's where we're just being ordinary. The question is, are you willing to break free from the ordinary, the comfort of the ordinary, and start living a life that is extraordinary? You have one thing that you have to do. Decide. Make the decision today that you are ready to live extraordinary, and add your name to the first iconic person that comes to your mind. So we're gonna dive in to how do you do that. So we're not just gonna talk about it, because transformation doesn't just happen. It starts with that conscious decision, that one decision. This is a moment where you draw the line in the sand, saying, I'm done living a life that is extraordinary, that's ordinary, and I'm ready to live a life that is extraordinary. This decision is going to be the catalyst for everything you do. Everything. But here's the catch. It's not just a one-time decision, guys. It's a commitment that you're going to make every day. You must decide every morning that you're going to do something extraordinary to move you forward. The decision is yours. Today, we're going to start moving closer to being the icons in our lives. So let me tell you about the icons. Because let's be clear, icons' lives are built on comfort and safety. They're not built on that. They are built on boldness, determination, relentless pursuit of your goal. That's how you go from being ordinary to extraordinary. And each of us have the ability. So we're going to talk about 2 quick tips that will help you go from an ordinary life to that iconic life that allows you to be the #1 person that comes to mind when someone says icon. You're a decision away, a day away, an action away from being the person that you want to be for the future you, the CEO. So let's start with the first step. So the first step, set a vision of your life that both excites you and scares you. I want you scared with your desire, with that one why. This isn't about small incremental steps. Even though when you break down this larger goal, you're going to break it down into small steps. But right now, we're talking about that one thing that you want, that in your mind, you're thinking it will never happen. You know that we are a culmination of our thoughts. So if you give up on you, how do you perceive that you move forward? Forward motion takes forward thinking. As we were saying with Stephen Curry and Oprah, they made a decision one day. So I want to go back and explain a little bit why I said Oprah persevered. Oprah was kicked off of the news and placed on ABC. They kicked her off. Excuse me, that's NBC. Excuse me, NBC. She was kicked to the Channel 7 network. What Oprah did was what made her iconic to me. She didn't complain about being kicked off of the television show, assuming the news. She found a way to make that show her show. So that goes about our mindsets of what we're thinking, how we're moving forward, and are we making the simple saying, are we making lemonade or are we looking at the lemons rot? When you're making lemonade, you're going to continue forward. That's why I said she persevered. So the first thing is you're going to set the goal. That wildly ambitious goal. That one thing that scares you. But we're going to start moving towards it. Why? Because you need a bold vision. Something bold. So you're going to take that vision. It's going to force you to leave idle. And it's going to demand that you grow, adapt, and become more than you have ever thought possible. But the first thing is, you got to get it down. So we're going to write that goal down. That one thing, one vision. Scatters thoughts do not reach a target. Have you thought about it? When you're trying to do 2, 3, 4 things, are they all being done successfully? You might think they're successful, but if you're focused on one and you're giving that one goal, that one task, all of your energy, you're more likely to win every time. I'm speaking from experience, guys. My laser focus when I was sitting down in January 2004 was to be a person that my kids could be proud of. That was my wild goal. And right now it doesn't sound wild, but at that point in time, I was sleeping on an air mattress, and so were my kids. So that was a wild step. However, each day I moved towards it. Each day I did something more. So after you write that wild goal down, you're going to write down everything that you know that can get you there. Everything that you know that can get you there, you want to put in there. And everything that you don't know, put it on a separate list. We're going to divide the list in half. The things you know, the things you don't know. Because you're going to be an icon. And to be an icon, you have to be clear, empowered, and own your life. Moving forward, starting today. So the second step is that you're going to commit to taking daily actions that align with your vision. So that wild goal that we're talking about. So I told you guys my wild goal was to be a person my kids were proud of. I wanted them to be proud of the person I had become. Because the person I was at that time could not provide a roof over their heads, could not provide security, and was not providing as a parent with knowledge and determination to help them be successful. I wasn't that person at that time. Now, if you're new to watching me, this is what happened next. I wrote down everything. Everything I knew and everything I didn't know. And what I started doing was working on what I didn't know and moving forward with the information I did. I tackled two things at once. I moved forward with what I knew, and I started learning what I didn't know. So I was moving closer to my goal, to be a person that they were proud of. So did you hear me? I didn't say the parent that they were proud of. I said the person. That means I had to find that person in me, because I wasn't that person that day. So when you write your vision, that one vision statement, you're gonna be so far away from that vision. That's why it's scary. It's scary because you don't know how you're going to get there. But what I do know is if you take calculated actions every day, moving towards your goal, as opposed to giving yourself excuses why you can't go forward, because excuses are for a mindset who's not ready. But you're ready to be the icon of your life. You want to be, we're no longer living idle. We're now moving to iconic. Ordinary is gone yesterday. Today, we are extraordinary. And you're going to make extraordinary steps each day. And it can be something small that moves you to the goal. So my first week, I'll tell you guys what I did. My first week, I got a book. I went to the library. I bought a book. I think the first book that I bought was, I went to the library and got, was The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. I read the book 20 times since. I've committed myself every day to read a full chapter of the book. Not only to read it, understand it, let it digest. I was working 16 hours a day, taking a bus to and from home. Well, my home at the time, which was my sister-in-law's house. It was an hour ride each way. So on my ride there, I read the book. On the ride back, I looked at my action plan to be the person that they were going to be proud of every day. So you're going to check in every day. Am I moving closer? No excuses. You're not giving yourself an excuse not to do it. You're saying, I can do it. I got it. Because what are we doing? You're making a decision today to be better than you were yesterday. And every day, you're going to make that decision again. I'm going to be better than I was yesterday. And I'm going to move closer to my wild goal that I know that I'm going to reach. Anybody who's iconic, Stephen Curry and Oprah, started day one. One day, the first day, they were nobody. Or we'll say they were ordinary. Because we're not nobodies either. We're just ordinary people who made decisions that's kept us ordinary. So you can decide to continue the path that you're going. And that path will lead you to the same places that you are today. Or you can make a decision to veer from that path. Learn something new. Grow to be someone better. And what will you have? Success. I guarantee success is on the other end of an action towards your destination. So, as I said, at the end of the day, iconic works as long as you are willing to take the steps. So what do we discuss? From ideal to iconic. From ordinary to extraordinary. This is your transformation journey. It's not going to be easy, but nothing worth having ever is. You have the power to turn your dreams into reality today. To live a life that is anything but average. But it all starts with a decision. Your decision to transform, to break free from the comfort of the ordinary and to step into the iconic life that awaits the extraordinary you. So that's what we're talking about today. So I want to dive in. Y'all know what I want to dive into. That Q&A. This is my favorite part of the whole time. The Q&A. So I know the journey can feel overwhelming, but you're not alone. Let's discuss how we can start taking actions today. So what questions do you have about making the transformation in your life from ordinary to extraordinary? Any questions? Let's go. I'm talking to those iconic people out there. So where are those icons at? Let's see if we got some questions on Zoom. Taking a quick look. So let's start with question 1. Why did you pick Oprah for your icon. So I picked Oprah for my icon, as I stated earlier, but I have no problem expounding. I picked Oprah as my icon because of the fact of that she showed perseverance. And considering that I am looking to help 100,000 people in the next 2 years be successful towards achieving their goal and being the iconic CEO of their lives, it lets me know it's possible. Because if you guys didn't know, my phrase is the word impossible. First off, the word impossible is not part of my vocabulary. The word itself says I'm possible. And as long as I'm possible can do anything I want to. Anything I believe, I put action towards to achieve. So, question 2. I hope that answered your question. Okay, what qualities in your icon do you admire the most? And how can you apply those qualities in your life? Great question. I think I might have answered it in my past answer, but the qualities of perseverance that Oprah had is what attracted me to her as my icon. There's also another gentleman, Reginald Lewis, that wrote he wrote a story. He wrote a book. Why do white guys? I think it's why do white guys have all the fun? And what I liked about both of those two people were the fact that they did not let anyone else's limitations limit them. Because what I realized is that a limiting belief can stop you. Your race, your sex, what you think, your ideas, your ideologies, those things people hold against you. And when people are holding those things against you, you sometimes internalize those things. And when I saw Oprah and her Oprah story, it told me that you can do whatever you put your mind to. You cannot let society limit your beliefs in you. So I've made a choice to believe in myself, and a lot of that comes from the fact of that I looked for people in society who had done the same. There are many things that you see on TV, from gun violence to raunchy things in clubs, to the fact that they say that as black people we do not know how to learn, we don't know how to discern, we are just wild. I made sure to look for people who weren't. Like Shirley Chisholm, the first woman to ever run for president. So I looked up to people. I looked for those people. I sought those out. W.E.B. Du Bois, I sought that person out. Madam C.J. Walker, I sought those people out. I wanted to know about people who are iconic, who looked like me. And then I showed up, utilizing that strength and not letting mainstream media stop me from growing. So I hope that answered that question as well. One last question, guys, and those are the end of Q&A. But if you have more questions, please drop them in the chat. And if I don't answer them today, I will answer them on the next live. Third question. Can you think of a moment when your icon demonstrated perseverance or overcame a major obstacle? How does that story motivate you? So I guess I just answered that question with my long-winded version of the previous one. At the end of the day, guys, you have to find that one moment of inspiration. People can inspire you. Motivation is internal. So I was inspired by those people that I named before. And I was motivated to be someone my kids were proud of. That motivation kept my why at the top. And everything I've done from that day, on that cold January, on that porch, when I was homeless and trying to figure life out, has moved me closer to being a person my children would be proud of. Not a parent, a person. So those are all the questions that we have for today. But I want to tell you guys that you guys are amazing. And if you are ready for moving forward towards a breakthrough we have a 3-day breakthrough lab. And in the breakthrough lab, what makes it different than today's CEO masterclass is that in the breakthrough lab, we break down a whole set of goals, giving you actionable steps that you can use to move forward in a direction to be the successful, iconic, extraordinary CEO that I know you can be and that you know that you want to be. So join the CEO Breakthrough Lab. It's a 3-day event, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. It's a registration only. So if you register for it, it is free. But I'm giving 3 days of tips, tricks, and things that will allow you to go from where you are today to where you want to be tomorrow. And that is what it's all about. So I thank everybody who joined me today. I want to also say thank you guys for helping me celebrate the fact that I have made a transition to radio as well. So please be on the lookout for the posters that my VA are dropping, that I will be, over the next 90 days, I will be playing, be on a couple, 4 or 5 different stations where I will be dropping CEO moments. And those CEO moments will be different than what you hear in the CEO masterclass. But be prepared for success on the other end. And if you are on YouTube, I want you to like, comment, follow, hit that subscribe bell so you can be notified for the next video drop. Thank you guys for watching. So until next week, you guys know what I want. Y'all to be up, out, and moving to the greatness we all know lies within who? You, CEOs. The CEO Masterclass is now over.